When it comes to organ donation, this next story is about as unusual as it comes. A Central Ohio man was in need of a kidney, and he kept it a secret from his closest friends.
For 2 years, he waited on a donor list. As 10 TV's Kevin Landers explains, when tragedy struck one night in March, no one could believe what would happen next. It's a story you'll only see here on 10 TV.
Life is a lot like the game of poker. It's about playing the hands you're dealt. For Troy Fletcher, he drew type 1 diabetes.
I've been diabetic since I was 16, but nobody knew it.
Fletcher, an avid poker player, needed a winning hand. And by that I mean he needed a kidney.
In January, I was called, we're ready for you for your kidney and pancreas transplant. And before I even got out of Circleville, they called back and said, it's not gonna work.
The 40-year-old was down chips. He says the hope of finding a donor was fading. He'd been sick for 5 years and was on the organ donation list for a kidney for 2 years. Even his poker buddy of 10 years, Joe Hedges, didn't know.
I knew he was sick, but I didn't know,
Shauna Mitchell is Joe's fiance.
Nobody could ever say that they didn't like Joe. He loved helping people.
Joe and Troy would meet at poker tournaments at places like this VFW.
We would play every Tuesday, every Friday, and that's how a lot of us in the community know each other.
We wasn't gonna go that night.
On March 4th, with 6 players left at the final poker table inside this VFW in Circleville, Joe Hedges stood up and complained of chest pain. His card-playing buddy Troy caught him before he hit the floor. What happened next is nothing short of a miracle.
Because I knew something was wrong. And he walked over toward me, and I said, "Babe, are you okay?" And he says, "No, my chest is really hurting."
Because I rolled him over and he said something, but his lips are blue. And I'm so out of it, I don't know what he said. And I wish I did, because that could have been his last words.
Joe Hedges died several days later at the age of 52.
My life was paused on that day.
Life, as in poker, requires you to deal with loss.
I loved him so much. I mean, he was like my soulmate.
In the rarest of organ donation success stories, Troy received his kidney from a donor who collapsed in his arms. That's him signing the paperwork to be an organ recipient.
I got a call at 9:30, and it was Swana, and she's bawling, crying. She says, "I just want to let you know you're a perfect match. You and Joe are a perfect match."
A perfect match of 2 men, neither of whom were organ donors.
You lost a friend to gain a life.
I lost a friend and got an angel.
If you're going to win at the game of life, it does help to be lucky.
I'm the luckiest dude in the world.
For Shauna Mitchell, she says she feels lucky too, even in loss.
Thankful and blessed that someone that I love with all my heart could save someone's life.
Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
An incredible connection there.
I just have chills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Woo.
Yeah. To give you a little sense of how rare this organ donation story is, in 2021, out of the 177 organ donations facilitated by Lifeline of Ohio, only five were direct donations.
Now, to learn how to register as an organ donor, just go to our website, go to 10tv.com/featured links.